Thank you for joining me online here for the announcement of the shortlist for the E.H.P. Barnard Poetry Prize 2022, which this year is on the theme of birth. When I picked this theme, I wanted to choose a subject that was determinedly post-pandemic, and we discussed a few things. I discussed with Sarah, the judge, a few themes. And this one I picked because it wasn't looking backwards into the pandemic, but we're looking forwards into our futures. Birth is the theme for this poetry competition this year. And when I chose it, I expected we'd get a number of poems on people's aspirations, on people's ambitions going forward from the pandemic. And I was wrong. We've had almost 90% of the poems submitted, I would say, have been dealing with childbirth and have been focused on childbirth and articulating aspects of childbirth. And for me as a childless man, this has been interesting. So I've learned a lot of your experiences, and the competition this year has been judged again by Zoë Smith, who is a published poet and National Slam finalist, expertly judged, I would say, and she's put together a shortlist that comprises a really good mix of poetry, spoken word poetry, rhyming poetry, prose poetry, and also a breadth of topics within the theme of birth, different types of birth, different aspects and different outlooks. So we've got a short list of 12 here, which are in alphabetical order of poet. And what I'd like to do, because I've read these as well, and I like to read them out loud. And I'm just going to give you, as I announce each poem that's in the shortlist, one or two lines or a few lines that are great, I think, that really stood out to me as why they're being selected. So in alphabetical order of poet, the shortlist is Ordinary Miracle by Niall Ashdown. That your cry calls this drudge his employ, that your eyes sing with brain-blinking joy. Grief Gives Birth by Helen Catt. Like a widow finds a stray, who, coaxed with prawns, will curl shrimp tight and keep the seat beside her warm. And How Many Children Do You Have? By Fiona Dignan. She was tiny blue feet, stained ink black. In this poem, she doesn't die, by Fiona Dignan. Amniotic oceans recede and fill jelly emptiness to tautness, ripe. Patient by Cleo Hanaway-Oakley. The maternity centre nurse was not amused when I tried to make light of the heavy ache I bore. Proud by Chloe Hanks. If I named each one after you, passing along my lineage rather than the tales of my Gen Z sadness. The Caesarean by Zoë Siobhan Howarth-Lowe. He watched through pixelated glass, unable to see them carve me, his baby, out. Survival Skill by Perla, Kantarjian. Touch is where it all started, not in the noun, but in the act. Out of the Blue by Sarah Levy. I bite back the instinct that thinks, poor thing, plucking itself bald. Peanut by Christine Marshall. You are completely you. I wasn't prepared for that. As if you would have been a half thing waiting to be filled. Two Roads by Nardien Sadik. Finally hitting the main road, I straighten my posture, turn on classical music and gently tuck away any hint of an accent. More aware than ever of my skin colour, I become a model citizen. Ode to My Honourable Bag by Lizzie Smith. Expandable tent, stretched like a drum, letting in light like a teepee. New Life by Imogen Wade. Ophelia mad, flowers and singing, I would pull my knees cradle tight to my chest and roll into the abyss. So we have 12 poems there, 12 wonderful poems on the theme of birth, all different types of birth. And this is the shortlist. Next Thursday at 11 o'clock we'll announce the winners and the highly commended category and the commended category as well. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of those poems. If you'd like to read them in full, the shortlist, please click on through to the website, and I hope you can come along online again on Thursday at 11, next Thursday at 11, to appreciate the winners of the competition.